Hey, D Cruz, how are you? Oops, got to make sure my audio's on. Hey, D Cruz, how are you? Had my
Mhm. Good.
my
No,
stream
it's okay.
recording, but not Discord. So there we go.
There you go.
So
Well,
again, thanks for the
happy
little space to
happy
have some
Wednesday.
carne Nevada and
Oh yeah.
rebalance myself out.
Yep. Definitely have to, listen to your body even when trading.
So today's an interesting trading day. Definitely challenging to trade,
Oh yeah.
and I figured we'd talk about that a little bit. I made a couple posts in Market Talk, kind of discussing like if you had a challenging day, close your screens, live to fight another day kind of concept. But this is what trading an inside choppy day looks like. And I posted about this in Market Insights this morning before open. I said, hey guys, we've had 3 trend days in a row. Very unlikely we're going to have another one. So I'm looking for a kind of choppy, consolidative kind of day. And so just make sure that you're, paying attention to that. And this is exactly what we've had. Now, definitely been trading level to level, but it is frustrating for people who are looking for trend days all the time. And our trend days are on average 1 out of every 5 days. And they're not every 5 days, but 1 out of every 5 trading days through the year. So if you're frustrated by today, maybe time to take some time after market and really dig into how you could start building the ability to be able to trade this type of market instead of just trading trend days, or to identify this kind of market, like I was talking about before we opened, so that you're not trading it if you're not good at trading it or don't like to trade it, because you can be good at it. It's not as relaxing and enjoyable. There's definitely a little more user involved sport for sure. But what are your thoughts about consolidation days and kind of where we are as far as what we're seeing today?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely needed. They are needed in the market. The market doesn't just go straight up or straight down. So, these days are expected. And it's just kind of, whenever they do happen, it's, if you're feeling it, then trade it. And if not, then just simply walk away. Uh, I mean, we have plenty of trading days throughout the year, especially if you guys are, learning and just doing this for part time right now, or just like a side hustle for now. Just definitely pick your days, and I think that that's really important and critical in building a portfolio. You really got to love the day whenever you trade it, and if you don't like it, then you have. I'm sure there's something else that you need to do, or something else that you could be doing, and I think that's really important also. And just don't, don't you can't get caught up all day every day, trading, because then it's more than likely going to get pretty tiring after a while. And this is just, based on experience, you guys. I mean,
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
8 years in, and there's still times where I'm just like, oh man, I don't like it. And well, I'm just going to walk away then because I really don't want to sit here all day and just kind of just, trade chop or trade something or just wait all day for something. Right. And it's just,
Exactly.
there's some days where it's just like, all right, well, market's not going to give me anything. So I'm not going to look for anything too hard.
And that's a good point, is the mental fatigue, the emotional burnout.
Yes. Oh
Man,
yeah.
emotional
And it's a
capital
thing, you
is
guys.
costly.
It's with anything you guys do. Even think about like I don't know if you guys like playing video games or something. Even think of a video game that you love. You're gonna get burnt out over time. You're gonna even just anything. If you eat the same thing over and over, you're gonna get burnt out of it. Just it's just like anything else in life. It's you're spending almost all your time. Well, it's not even all your time. It's nine to four, right? And it's just like whatever. It's like a regular job, but these minutes do take longer sometimes, right? Doesn't it feel like that? It's just like you got to really, really respect your body and like your mind, what you're feeling, right? If you really don't, if you actually feel exhausted, mentally, just stop looking at charts. And I'm actually kind of at that point a little bit. I kind of hit it in September, kind of ended September and into like right now, but that's why I'm kind of just stepping back. You guys know I usually stream every day. I haven't been streaming as much. I've kind of been waiting for first 30 minutes out for solid setups and taking a little bit less. But it's just kind of me stepping back, giving my mental break, and then once we feel backing up for it, then we'll start hitting it hard again.
And what happens is, if you're in front of the screens, if you're not good at that self regulation, then you find yourself in a boredom
Mm-hmm.
trade, or you find yourself, adding to positions that you really should have just walked away from, that kind of thing. And it's
Right.
important that you're journaling to be able to see those habits. And I'll do that, with my fitness training clients. And I haven't done that as long as I've traded. I've been doing that 17 and a half years. But I'm like, if you don't know what the problem is, if you write it down or take a picture of it every time you eat, you'll know what the problem is within a couple days. And it could be not eating enough. So that in the equivalent in trading would be too scared to enter a trade because you've lost too much money, which I think everybody has to go through, or overeating because it tastes good, which is you made some money and so now you're going to keep trading, which is the over trading. So there's a lot of equivalence, and it is really all of it is back to the head game that is human psychology and psychology attached to food and money. I don't know that there's anything stronger than those two things.
Yeah. No.
And
And I
money's
think
pretty
there's
crazy because you could lose money sitting and working all day where
right. And it's kind of it almost feels like unrewarding and it's really it drains you a lot more than it would, just going to work, not liking your job, but you're still making your money. So that's
yeah,
also, an important thing to keep in mind as well. It's just I don't know, you just gotta really respect it.
for sure. And I think a lot of people see me where I'm trading actively all day long. But the thing you have to remember is and not you, and that's when we're talking like this, you guys remember we're always talking to our members and the people listening to the stream, not so much each other. I've built up some calluses. Some of the mental fatigue that used to happen to me after a couple hours in front of the screens happens to me
Mhm.
now after I could be trading minus a couple walks outside. I'll go out and pet a horse and a goat. And oh, we have 3 baby chicks hatched, by the way, this morning. So went out for that instead of eating, which is why I was behind on lunch in addition to the trades. But it's, like get away from the screens. Even if you are trading and have built up those calluses, you don't have to be there. It's okay to get up and walk away for a little bit because there's always another trade. So I have to ask you what you now that you've been out there for, are you a year or two? How long have you been
One
in
year.
Virginia? 1 year.
Yep.
Okay, so what's
This
fun to
month
do out there
basically.
when
That's
you're not
May 7th.
trading? And I don't know what the temperature is, but when you're not trading, what do you go
Yeah.
do outside?
It's 70s right now. It's been 70s for about a week or two. Except actually it says okay, thunderstorms on Saturday. So yeah, we're good today. But based on, if it says that there's gonna be rain, I usually just stay inside because I've dealt with that and I'm seeing how much it does rain
It
over here
actually
because
rains.
it really does rain when it says it rains. So but other than that, I mean, we're not too far from the water. I could drive maybe 10 minutes and there's water right there. There's
Oh,
like a nice
perfect.
little walkway. But it's not the actual, the beach, but that's about 20-25 minutes. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, the beach was always good, but now it's a little bit too cold for East Coast
Yeah,
beaches
that
anyways. West
what that
Coast, you guys
wind
are still
comes in.
spoiled. Yep.
Wind comes in. I'm
Yep,
in
the
the
cold.
desert coast. I'm not in the yeah.
Right, right. And then
Yeah.
yep, and then anybody on the West Coast, so you guys still probably have a couple more weeks of beach weather, but yeah, I mean, just get out,
Yeah.
or even just kind of
Getting
just
in
go
nature.
relax on the couch, watch some, even just, and I know this isn't a good habit too, because then you're also watching something, but I like to watch like catch up on sports news, whatever. Turn on a baseball game, even if you're just kind of waiting for the market, right? You just kind of turn on a baseball game in the background, just not always just fully focused on a chart or chat.
Yep. Mental
Just kind of
mental
just take your
distraction.
mind. Yep. Yeah,
Mental
exactly.
distraction
Just
for
like
sure.
and that goes back to, like I said, whenever we talk about if you guys are, all up, leaned in, like, your posture is kind of messed up. You guys are all, into the trade, and that, that's, try to avoid that and relax and stay more, just natural if you could. I think that's getting into trading a little bit too much, but I feel like we all do it. So just try to remind yourself, all right, take a step back, stand up, stretch, go get some water, something.
Yep, water and food. So making sure that you're
Yep.
not like, okay, I'm taking all my stuff so that I have to eat at my desk and I'm not going to get up because you stand up and your legs are like, what have you done to me?
Yeah.
So, even if you need to set yourself an alarm, that's a get up and move alarm every 30 minutes or something. And maybe you don't like the way my trading setup is I can get on my elliptical that's right next to me and still watch my TV screens that are my displays and turn my laptop towards me. And
Nice.
anyway, like I can move. I don't have to leave my desk per se. It's just right next to my desk. But if you don't have that, get up and do some squats and, like do a doorway chest stretch where you stand in the doorway and put your arms up, and because we're all like crouched forward, like holding onto our keyboards, and breathe. Because that's the other thing that happens is we sit there, we don't drink any water, we're all caffeinated, and we're kind of holding our breath, like waiting for stuff to happen. And that shouldn't be, but that is what I see traders do. And I would say that the closer you can get to thinking about, like, just sit back, lean back in your chair, take a deep breath, get up, walk around, take a bunch of deep breaths, and know that there will be something for you when you get back. I promise. And if you miss something and that was the move of the day, it's okay because you didn't blow up your portfolio, and you can come back to trade tomorrow. Got a direct tag of anchored VWAP here on ES, so watching that kind of closely. Our volume point of control is sitting directly on top of the previous volume point of control, 4396. I think I'm probably done trading for the day. We are in power hour coming off of the
Yeah.
FOMC minutes, and this is a lot more trades than I usually take. I'll have to go back and count them, but that's what real trading looks like, right? And 4 days out of 5, when we're not trending, it's more hands-on. And I think I might even go get on a horse. It's like 75. Might take a little ride out on the ditch. So remembering to take care of yourselves, I think, is one of the biggest things. It's going to take you 10,000 hours to get good at this. And you're not going to do that this week, this month, this year. It might be this decade. I hope it's this decade. Don't get in a
Oh, it
hurry.
will be. Yep.
Yeah.
If you do it right.
Yeah. If you don't burn yourself out. Because I know people that, have done it, burn themselves out, and then come back to it later and are like, why didn't I just stick with this a little bit longer? I was so close.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But
I have to
balancing
say
it.
that year, yeah, the year before actually like seeing profits and everything, that's probably the hardest because I mean, it's
Yeah.
very like mentally fatiguing. And honestly, it always brings up this quote. And I always like to, keep reminding everybody of this quote as well. It's one of my favorite quotes. It's, everybody will give up in the fifth year. Um, of trying something when they'd be successful after six, right?
Right.
It's just you're almost there, and that's it's always going to be harder before it gets easier. You're always going to feel like you're never going to make it, and that right there is normally when you're
You're right on the
pretty dang
cusp.
close. Yep.
Right. It's
And
about to
then
break over.
mm-hmm. And that what if and like all the quitting and everything, it's very common, very common. But just that's that mental barrier you have to get through and just keep on keeping on because you've made it further and than a lot of other people have, and you got to take that into you know hindsight.
I think sometimes that pain and that frustration is because you've like tried to control things so much, right? You're like,
Right, you're trying
must.
so hard, and then
Yeah. And
you
you
slipped up.
realize that it has
Hmm.
nothing to do with you trying. It has everything to do with execution. And we were talking about this in Market Talk yesterday. Opportunity, preparation, and opportunity. That saying used to be that was good luck, and I don't believe that. In the circles that I travel in for about 10 years, the general consensus is preparation, opportunity, and action. So you can be looking at the screen, know it's right, and not act on it. Or if you take any of those three, you're not prepared. The opportunity's there and you took action. You might have taken the wrong opportunity or had the wrong execution entry. Trade location was not good. And, you know, go into the ether on that concept. But it really is going to boil back to not having it be something that is so like you have to be in a trade. You do not have to be in a trade. One of the best things you can ever do for yourself from a like emotional relaxation method is to go, I'm just going to watch. And I use this term all the time, the Odysseus and the Sirens. Odysseus had his sailors tie him to the mast because he wanted to see the beauty of the sirens that was like they were calling the sailors into the sea in the Greek mythology story, and then of course drowning them. I mean, I don't know if they were drowning them or they drowned because I don't whatever. Details. But he wanted to see them but not be able to act. So tie yourself to the mast, look but do not act. And if that means handing your I don't know, batteries out of your mouse to your spouse or someone that will not give them back to you, So you can just look and watch and see, would your execution have gone well on this day, especially as you're rebuilding confidence. And I think that was one of the biggest things that I struggled with is as I really started to nail down my TA after having such large losses, I was just scared. I couldn't act on it because I was like frozen in relation to it. So so we have to think about rebuilding confidence as a huge part. If you've taken a big loss, you shouldn't be trading the rest of that day, and you should actually probably not be trading for the rest of that week. My suggestion, like if you've taken a huge drawdown because you're oversized, would be to take 2 weeks off. And I know that's really hard to do, but take 2 weeks off and really step back and reflect on what went wrong, like why you're finding yourself in this position. So it was oversized, it was mismanaged, you added two positions, you just stayed in the trade and let it go to zero, whatever it is that caused that, you need to get face to face with what that means for you and how you don't ever do it again. And it's a lesson if you do that. Don't ever do it again. It's a mistake if you do it again. And eventually you'll learn from your mistakes and hopefully turn it into a lesson. Or
All with discipline.
you will not be in the trading profession anymore. Your trading business will be closed because you will be out of money.
Some professions are pretty forgiving with mistakes, and that's one thing that the stock market is not. You really have to make sure to constantly remind yourself, everything that with your strategy, and you really have to, you really got to be spot on with executions and just taking losses when whenever it's not going to be, whenever the play's invalidated, and not letting them get too out of hand. So
Yep, saying there is, do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? And if you want to be
right,
right, you will probably not be rich because then you're all attached to I needed to be validated in that trade. It's like, nope, on to the next. And I've seen a lot of
absolutely.
business people struggle with that so much because like from my business background, my businesses are successful because of my work ethic. And it's the worst possible thing that can happen in your trading business. Work ethic will get you in trouble because you'll overtrade and overposition and lean in more. And so it's like the opposite of a traditional kind of a work environment. Cruz, I'm curious, what did your parents do? Because Cruz grew up like within 10 miles of me, and before he moved to Virginia, strangely enough, we never met each other in person. But before he moved to Virginia, he was like 10 miles from me where I am right now. Very small, little tiny world. So what kind of jobs did they have?
Sorry,
That's okay.
I just got back to the desk. My girlfriend actually just got home. I was just helping her real quick, but she my dad, just he worked for the city, just like with water division, and my mom was the substance abuse program manager for
Okay,
risk management. So
nice.
downtown, she just kind of did all the drug testing for all the cops, bus drivers, all that stuff. So yeah,
Okay.
just city workers really.
Yeah, so
Nothing too
like
much.
just regular day jobs. And I think
Exactly.
I hear that question a lot myself personally, is why I asked you is, hey, did your family grow up and this was something you did? And the answer was absolutely not.
Hmm.
My dad was a PhD in geology and a professor at UNM and then worked for the state. So similar in that capacity. He was in charge of the making sure that all the oil drillers did the right thing with the finishing up of their mines as there's their drilling areas, so capped off properly, so there weren't ecological problems, things like that. And my mom stayed home,
Right.
and nothing about money. Like I literally learned nothing, and so it's
Yep.
very hard one from that perspective, in learning how to manage money and learning how to manage yourself because I really didn't learn anything about money until I was in my middle 20s in financial trouble because I got an insurance settlement and then did all this fun stuff and then lost it.
Mm. Yep.
Oh, and I just wanted to double check. Creedmonger, you are server muted because your mic was hot before we started and I couldn't catch you. And so let me know if you want to just shoot me a DM. I will unserver mute you, but it was because there was a lot of background noise and I just wanted to knock that out. So the biggest thing to remember, you guys, is that you do not have to be born into money. You don't have to be born into a family that understands money. You do have to be very diligent about learning how to manage your trading business so that you
Hmm.
do have money, or learn how to manage a side business, right? It doesn't have to be your primary job. And I tell people all the time, man, why would you just want to depend on one source of income where you could actually lose money where you sit down and work the whole day? Why wouldn't you have
Yep,
more oars in the water?
it is tough.
Oh, so yeah, don't get in a hurry to jump away from it until like Cruz
Hmm.
didn't step away from his other job until he was full-time trading and like doing really well with it consistently over years. Not, oh, I've traded for a year. I did great. Because you never know what next year is going to bring market wise. And I would say these last couple of years have really highlighted that. It's, all kinds of fun. And I own two businesses and work physically in one about 5 hours a week. But I am not going to just like, oh, I'm going to sell my businesses now. I'm good. I trade. The trading is what carried my personal training business through 2020 because we were closed. I think it was almost 5 months. And when you're paying 11 grand a month in commercial rent to be closed, it's a little
Yeah.
painful. So thank goodness for trading. It's a nice backstop.
Oh yeah. And yeah, just a little background for me, you guys, if you guys were wondering what I did for this. Not really, I mean, I made okay money, decent money. I was just serving like fine dining. So, I mean, just I would work. And then right before, I was traded, like I was doing both like kind of part-time and part-time is kind of hand in hand actually, because I could still trade all day and then, go serve at night. And I was just doing weekends. So, I mean, yeah, just kind of, you know, just went part-time with both and just
Yes.
just really focused on trading. And that's why I have a whole different mindset behind it because, I don't come from money, right?
Yeah.
So like
Right.
I kind of just, yeah, I made it all, just off of trading. And that's why I look at it differently because it's just like, yeah, it's hard work. That's hard earned money. So I don't want to just throw it out there and just gamble it.
Well,
So,
and that's respect for capital. So hopefully
yep,
you develop, if you don't have respect for capital, you develop it as quickly as possible. Because if you don't,
absolutely.
you will have the
You're just
market
going to be
develop
in an
it for
endless
you.
circle. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're coming up on our time. If you guys have any questions for us, if you'll tag us in Market Talk, Blockwiz just asked me, Cedar, you have a CrossFit gym business in Virginia. I do not. So my gym is not CrossFit. It is circuit training, and it's kind of a group, but it is a hybrid between personal training and what you'd have in a CrossFit or a boot camp or something like that. Because we're National Academy of Sports Medicine certified personal trainers, and then they go through an internship with me. That's fairly intensive, if you guys know my personality. And I am not in Virginia at all, so that's also. All right, I'm going to go ahead
Right.
and wrap the recording up. I don't see any other questions, and make sure you guys are reaching out to us. And if you're uncomfortable with tagging us in Market Talk, shoot a DM. My DMs are always open, unless I'm in an active trade, and then I will DM you later. The DMs will be open, but they'll have to sit there for a little bit because I do try to make sure that I'm taking care of the trading and the active alerting that I'm doing, and I am trying to still maintain that about 80% in voice throughout the day. So I hope to see you guys soon.
Yep, likewise.
It was
And
great
thanks for
talking with
talking
you.
as always, Cedar. And
Yeah, it's
it's always
wonderful to catch
nice.
up with you. Someday we'll meet in person, right?
Oh, yeah. I'll be back and forth and
Nice.
here and there. I definitely got to go visit. I miss all the food and family and friends. So
Yeah.
I'll be, I
Oh,
should be, yeah, last week, I mean, last time a week flew by like quick.
yeah.
So, this time around, I think I'll like to stay there for maybe a little longer. So
Right on.
definitely fit something in.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, well then we'll
Okay,
catch you
great.
soon and see you guys all later. Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Have a great afternoon, you guys.